Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at what are some of the best options available for a buddy in order to optimize your gameplay in the Great and Ultra League within Pokemon Go PvP. I'm not going to include Masters because Masters you can just basically pick any of the top Master League Pokemon and run with those. So there's certainly not as much optimization. But in the Great and Ultra League, there are many Pokemon that do not have optimized IV spreads that are under 1500 or under 2500. That would actually, at least their optimized spread would improve when you get to level 45. So let's go ahead and lay some groundwork. One, I assume max plus 5 levels as indicated in the code. Selected Pokemon that will have some general meta use, not necessarily Pokemon that would have the biggest gain. It does not factor in how CMP will change in the future when it comes to the effective attack stat. So take this with a grain of salt because some of the matchups may change. Let's start off with the Great League. I have 5 recommendations here: Bastiodon, Medicham, Sableye, Wormadam Trash, and Bayleaf. So Bastiodon, why Bastiodon? So Bastiodon, the ideal IV spread is 6, 15, 15. It goes from 303 wins in the one shield to 313, and this is comparing optimized IVs at level 40 and in this case level 40. I think it's level 44 and a half. We can actually take a look at that when we take a look at Bastiodon at level 45. I think it is, yeah, level 45, level 44 and a half, and you'll see that when you compare, let's even compare its max stat proc stat at level 45, it's 2744, which is absolutely monstrous, instead of 2670. So again, there's not crazy gains on this, but that certainly allows you to flip 10 matchups in the one shield when Bastiodon already wins a ton of matchups. So definitely a really strong consideration. Medicham, the optimized IVs goes from perfect IV spread to 13, 15, 15, going from 300 wins to 320 wins. And this is actually really interesting for Medicham because it's already one of the tankier fighters in the Great League, but now its attack stat becomes a little bit more respectable at 109 and picks up a little bit more bulk and becomes that much better of a Pokemon and gives it some redemption after it fell off a little bit with the nerf 2 power-up punch. My other recommendations are Sableye with a 9, 14, 14 spread, goes from 284 wins to 301. Wormadam Trash, a Pokemon that I think is like the optimized IVs like 8, 15, 15. Now you can have a more ideal optimized spread of 0, 13, and 15. Goes from 282 wins to 300. And then Bayleaf, it kind of drops off in terms of options. Bayleaf going from 12, 14, 15, going from the 15, 15, 15 to 12, 14, 15, and picks up 6 more wins. Some honorable mentions include Azumarill, Dustox, Magnemite, Slowpoke, Grimer, and there's a whole slew of options. But the Azumarill one is pretty interesting, so let's go ahead and take a look at Azumarill. Azumarill itself, when you maximize it, it goes from 308 wins to I think like 314. So if we go there, it goes to 314. So not a huge change. But the question with Azumarill is, does it change the mirror match? Especially in metas that where Azumarill mirror matches are going to be very common. So with Play Rough Hydro Pump, it actually doesn't change the mirror match. In fact, you would actually lose the mirror match because actually I gotta optimize this IV. You would lose the mirror match because the attack stat on the level 40 variant is going to be higher than the optimized level 45 variant, which is pretty crazy to be honest. But when and you'll lose the mirror match because once the CMP changes, this opposing Azumarill will pick up the CMP tie. But if you run any other variant of the moveset, so like Ice Beam, Play Rough, you'll see that the other Azumarill, level 45 Azumarill is actually able to win with 6 HP. And if you were to change this to Ice Beam Hydro Pump, you'll see again that the level 45 Zoom roll is going to be optimal. So do understand that there's going to be some trade-offs when you play through these matchups. Dustox does pick up quite a few wins, but it's still worse than the Legacy Venomoth when compared to the general meta, but certainly still a really great option. Magnemite, similar to Magneton, when compared to Magneton, it's actually worse than double Legacy Magneton, but again, really great option if you don't have a double Legacy Magneton. It becomes a little bit more viable. Slowpoke doesn't necessarily have as great a moveset as Slowbro, and then Grimer can be really interesting because its moveset's actually a little bit different than Muck. And same thing with Alolan, Grimer, and et cetera, et cetera. So some pretty interesting options when it comes to the Great League. But these are the 5 that I would recommend. In roughly this order, Azumarill you can certainly put ahead of Bayleaf. Doesn't pick up that many more wins, but it can certainly help you in the mirror match outside of Play Rough and Hydro Pump, which is, in my opinion, kind of a really uncommon moveset nowadays. In terms of Ultra League, you're going to look at Reggie Steele. Reggie Steele, its optimized IVs are no longer 15, 15, 15. It's actually 9, 15, 14. It goes from 265 monsters, 265 wins to 276 wins in the one shield. And if we take a look at, let's actually quickly take a look at Reggie Steele in the Great League. And I'm always curious on this mirror match. So we go to, well, first off, let's show it in the one shield matchup. You'll see that it goes from the 265 wins to an optimized spread of 9, 15, 14, and has a really nice stat spread now. It goes all the way up to basically 2,500. But when you compare it to, let's compare it to the mirror match, which is Reggie Steele. And in this case, it's likely not going to make a difference. In fact, it wins the 2-shield matchup, which is not nothing, but it does have a lower attack stat than the 100% level 40 variant. So that's something that you're going to take into consideration. There may be some further optimization in terms of making sure that you still win the mirror match. I'm sure there's some optimization. For example, you can have 11, 13, 10 or something like that. And that will still allow you to have more attack, right? More defense and more HP than the opposing one. And unfortunately, you don't then pick up the mirror match. And when we compare it to in the one shield matchup against the meta, it goes from 276 wins to 271. But you do pick up that very important mirror match if that is going to be important. So there's certainly some optimization that you can do to try to figure it out. Some other options are Blastoise, which is another option that maxes below 1,500, 2,500, and goes in this optimized spread for a stat product perspective is 6, 15, 15, picking up 15 more wins. Defense Deoxys. Its ideal spread is still the perfect IV one. It goes from 211 wins to 240. Clefable, certainly going to be a challenger for one of the best charmers in the meta. Goes from 15, 15, 15 as the optimized spread to 8, 15, 15. Picks up 18 more wins. And then Steelix, a really great option in the meta. Goes from 15, 15, 15 to 13, 15, 14, and picks up 12 more wins. Some other considerations include Meganium, which maxes below Skarmory. Skarmory is actually arguably should be on this list. It would be a very close 6. Altaria, it does pick up a lot of wins when you go to level 45, but the thing is that there's already Giratina, there's already Kingdra in the meta, so it's a little bit tough to work with. Granbull, another great charmer. Hitmontop's a little hard to work with just because there's already arguably some better fighters in the meta. but it does have that close combat and some like pretty decent bulk. Cloyster is one with Icy Wind, and with additional bulk, is going to be able to last a little longer in that Icy Wing, and impact is going to have a lot more impact in the one versus one matchup. So hopefully you found that helpful in terms of what are the best options available, in my opinion. But this doesn't take into consideration the new CMP, which is definitely going to have an impact on some of these matchups. So watch for that. Watch for pvpokes.com's recommendations. In regards to that, I might do a follow-up video when it comes to what are the optimized spread after factoring in CMP. So I'm going to leave there. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see everyone in the next video.